Then when you've got Angel screaming, Angel does it again. And
that was something, right?
That was something.
I'm sorry, you canceled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a trade?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to like QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed.
Oh, I would love
It
to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to see
Yeah,
that.
again, like I said.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BattlefieldOne Podcast, the best Battlefield-related podcast on the planet, and we're glad that you're joining us for another episode of, well, just us talking about Battlefield. So, my name is Tom, also known as the Lanky Soldier. I'm being joined by Florida man himself, Ray.
Hello, everybody. How goes your day?
Yeah, and...
Yeah?
Yeah.
We got a fun one for you today, guys. I mean, we're gonna cover some stuff. Tom's gonna let us know what the stuff we're gonna cover is, and we're gonna get on with this thing.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a long episode.
So basically, we were supposed to have a guest for this episode, but something happened, so we had to be cancelled last minute, so that's fine. I'm not even gonna mention the details, but I'm sorry if you're expecting a guest. No guest today, so I have Ray instead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everyone. Like, I have a Florida man here, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. But anyway, so welcome to the show. We have some topics that we discussed on this episode. We talked about the Game Fest thing, Summer Fest.
Why
right?
game fests are kind of pointless nowadays anyway.
Yeah, why Battlefield was not there, and people were taking like, oh, maybe there's a secret reveal or something like that. Maybe we do that. We talked about that. Listen, no. If the signs are there and everything and so on, we talked about the canceled Black Panther game. EA canceled and everything, and you might thinking, well, why is it important? Well, it kind of is, because it kind of puts focus on Battlefield and what's to come. And we discussed...
But why? You got to tune in and find out.
Yeah, you have to find out why. And we figured out, well, at least I figured out, that this game is a reboot. It's pretty much confirmed that this game is a reboot. If all the signs are clear and correct, this game is a reboot. So forget what you knew about the old Battlefield games. Doesn't matter. This is a brand new franchise, brand new setting, brand new era for the Battlefield franchise, and it's a reboot. And I don't think there's anything else to say, but listen to that. And we talked about the no weapon restrictions for classes, of course, because it's still a hot topic in the Battlefield community, and some people are still mad about it, and we discuss it a little bit. And at the end, we talk about some Battle Royale stuff and leaks and everything, just small...
Fun stuff at the end of it.
Yes,
So we're going to
small
save that for a
topics,
surprise, though.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for listening and enjoy the conversations we have. Of course, check out our Patreon, more of that in the middle of the show. Check, join our Discord, our socials, leave a rating. If you really enjoy the show, please do leave a rating, all that kind of stuth. And yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Also, if you have any feedback, please use the Google Docs document in the description about like anything that is on your mind. If you want to give us feedback, send us questions, use the Google documents in the description, and tell us what you think. Other than that, thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the conversations.
The intro broke him.
Yeah, the intro broke you. Alright, let's go first topic of the day. Summer Game Fest. Ray, do you care about video games?
I mean, I care about video games. I mean, we do a podcast dedicated to video games, so I mean, I care. Do I care enough in order to make a financial incentive or a financial expenditure in order to fly to the other side of the country in order to participate in a big event? No. No.
Do you care?
Even as an American who could easily go to it.
Do you care watching big events where they show trailers and only trailers, and where they hype you about a video game that you always wanted to experience 10 years ago, but you never knew about?
Are we talking about social media and YouTube?
We're talking about Summer Game Fest. Why I'm talking about that, it's not that important, or not even a topic, honestly, but I just want to mention this because I got triggered a little bit. So, for anyone that doesn't know, but if you listen to the Battlefield-related podcast, you probably do know. There's a thing called Summer Game Fest. It's basically like a replacement for E3. If you remember E3, damn, you're old.
A replacement.
Replacement. So basically, we're recording like a day after the Game Fest happened. So couple of days before, I think it was like a week before, Summer Game Fest announced, hey, here's all the publishers and everything that will be on the show. Here's all the publishers and here's all the studios they're gonna showcase their games. Cool. You don't see EA or DICE there? Cool. They're not gonna be here. Moving on. But some people were hoping for their dear lives. No, they will be there. Or no, EA will do their own event.
It's all just a troll, bro. They're gonna come out of the smoke like my favorite WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm removing the labels from the water bottles. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, and we hitting this point where a developer that is working on this game or works at the studio tweets something about a certain game or something that has nothing to do with Battlefield or like anything, right? They're just tweeting something they care about, and people always like, oh, he works at DICE, oh, he works at Ripple Effect, and he tweeted that, so that means something's happening today. Guys, they all have lives. Chill. They all have lives. They all have their own things to do.
They're human beings. They exist. They do stuff outside of their work, like actors and singers and other entertainers amongst us. You know, it's like, I don't just... Do y'all think I just sit in this booth all day as an actor?
No, you sit
I'm
here.
just here.
No, you hear.
This is where I live.
This is where you live, and this is where you record the podcast every fucking day with me, Ray.
This is my sole purpose in life.
Yes.
This is my sole function in life.
You're my
I'm
actor
just here.
slave. You're my actor slave. Yes.
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 But no, that's not how it works. I mean, goddamn, you know, people have lives. You know, people's work is not their entire identity. This whole fucking stupid mindset that we seem to have these days, where one thing, it has to be one defining thing. There just has to be one defining thing that makes a person. And it's not. You know, one thing, it does not identify you. You know, your political lineage does not identify you 100%. Your gender, or your sexuality, or any of that shit. Your preference in video games, or it does not define you. People are multifaceted.
Yeah.
We've forgotten that.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, I just got triggered that people thought that something's gonna be announced, something's gonna be shown, and everything. And because some people said it, everyone's like, well, maybe something's happening. I'm like, no, chill, it's fine. EA said nothing. Also, if you've been paying attention, if you've been listening to the BattlefieldOne podcast and you already knew that nothing's coming, congratulations. Like, we did our job as podcast hosts, that you realize, oh, nothing's happening, because otherwise we would tell you that something's happening.
I'll flip it on your head. I'll flip it completely on its head and say this. Like, if anybody who knows anything about production, there is always something happening. If something wasn't happening, nothing would be getting done.
Yeah, that too. So, long story short, it's not important, it's not even a topic. I got triggered by people that, like, hoping that, something might happen, EA might, like, okay, let's say EA drops a trailer, some sort of trailer, when the Summer Game Fest is happening. Yeah, at most. Let's say it drops a YouTube, trailer or something like that. Cool, let's compete against other big games that will be announced at Game Fest. Let's ruin our exposure. Are you kidding me? This is one of the biggest games EA ever worked on. They don't want to share the spotlight with anyone. Let's be honest. Anyone.
That's part of the reason why they're shifting their release dates around, or their projected release dates. I can't say release dates; it's projected at this point, because it's projected until the day it happens. That being said, you know, this is a whole big PR thing for them too, and you're absolutely right. They really do need to consider, like, how they're going to approach putting this out there. They don't want to share the waters with anybody else. And they definitely don't with some of the other sharks that are coming into the bay here soon, so to speak. People got to understand that they're not going to just... This isn't the 90s where you have to just spontaneously drop what you can when you can, because the internet isn't a thing. Like, if they want to announce something, they have a YouTube channel. They have a social media page. They have email lists. They have your email. They can announce shit if they wanted to. They could announce shit in a way that would be completely dirt cheap. Boils down to the labor of maybe 5 people to make a big announcement. Now, it ain't like it was back in the day where you gotta have, the big to-do at E3. E3's dead for a reason. And it wasn't just COVID that killed it. E3 was dying long before COVID put the bullet in it.
Yeah.
We all need to be honest with ourselves on that front. COVID was just, there were a lot of things that were dying, and COVID basically just put the bullet in it. If we're really going to look back on it realistically, let's just be real with ourselves. And E3 and big electronic expos and big expositions and shit like that, with the exception of Comic-Con. Comic-Con seemed to be the only thing that survived, but then again, that's such a base general...
I have a friend that went to Comic-Con. It's like, it's not that good anymore, at least London one.
I've been to the one down here in Tampa before. I mean, I had fun. It's not something I would certainly make a yearly visit out of. One, trying to get signatures and pictures and shit. It's just ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand why they charge what they charge, because you got to get bread. Got to pay the bills somehow. Yeah. And not everybody's constantly working. I mean, shit. If I had some productions and I could get away with it, I'd have a cameo right now. I'd fucking have a cameo. I'd sling autographs for $5 through my website a pop. Yeah, sure, let's go. Let's do this.
I would do that, yeah.
I gotta make some money, baby.
Yeah, like, hey, listen, $5 is $5, right?
I love doing what I do, but you want me to put my signature on a piece of paper for $5 and mail it to you? All right, cool.
Hey,
that
you
cost
want me to
at like 75 cents. I'll fucking do it.
You want me to kiss it? You want me to kiss it? You want me to do something? That's fine. $5 is $5. I'll do it, fam. I'll do it. I'll freaking do it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, the irony of that is you and I have been down the road with like merch and shit before, and it just doesn't move. So it's like,
anyone that is watching the video format, you still, if you want this hoodie, just let me know. I can make it for you. Just saying.
we don't have slave labor. We don't have exported labor. It's all in-house labor.
Oh, literally in-house. Literally in-house.
Anyway,
Summer Game Fest. I don't know why I even talked about it. I got triggered. I just want to let my emotions out. Because I got triggered by people like, oh, maybe it's something like, no. Smell the coffee. Just relax, chill. Just the game is not coming. I'm sorry. But like, before I'm even gonna go with other topic, I'm just gonna say this. The game is not coming out this autumn. If it does, it's gonna be a broken launch. I'm just saying the truth. If the game is coming out, if the next Battlefield is coming out this autumn, the game is gonna be broken. Or bare bones.
I think this would kind of be like a really neat way to go about it. Like if they're gonna do anything kind of like festival, okay? And when I mean like festival, I mean like a week-long event of things, I think kind of the cool thing would be is to be like, how hard would it be in order to fire up some Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 official servers? And have them up and running for like a week or so.
Oh, you
and
like
just have have a week of Battlefield Fest where you just fire up some of those old servers and get the community involved in some of the older games again for at least a week. Have official servers and all that shit back again. Like I think that would be the only thing that they could do to be like a festival announcement thing. And then at the end of the week they just go, oh, by the way, just like Bethesda did with the Elder Scrolls remake. Here's the game. There you go. Enjoy. Welcome to the end of Battlefield Fest. Here's the new Battlefield game. If they would do that,
yeah, that would be cool. Yeah,
that would be fucking amazeballs.
Like open beta,
or even 2 weeks.
Yeah, open beta.
You spend the first week. You start at like maybe not even necessarily Battlefield 1945, or maybe you could figure out a way in order to get it running, and you just give it to everybody for free. Fuck it. Why not?
They literally sometimes they should do like stuff like that. Listen, game is old, right? Like I'm pretty sure you can pay like you get one developer. Just stop working for a day. Just focus on this. We're like, okay, can you just make sure that this game works? Just like when we give it for free, and that's it.
Well, I mean, yes, but no, not really. Because I mean, some people will tell you porting a game is not necessarily just that simple, but that's more or less along the lines of an argument for like consoles and shit. PC.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about consoles.
And this is where the drawing line would become. It would become one of those things that could possibly only be a PC thing, which would pigeonhole them really hard and would suck. But I mean, if they could figure out a way to do it with consoles and stuff, just Just for that week. Everybody gets a free build of 1945, whatever, and 20 and the original 2042. You give them some of the original stuff. You even let it go for a little bit. Let the multiplayer happen. Show some of these younger kids like what some of the legacy games were about. Some of the freedoms and the fun that you could have in those games if you were creative enough with it.
Now you mentioned
that, and then
right?
finally cap it off with okay now that you've seen everything now you've seen our pedigree, now you've seen everything that we've done over the years, and yes, not everything was the best decision that we've made in the world, but now here we are going to show you that we've learned from our mistakes. Here is Battlefield 6, or whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Probably it's going to be called Battlefield, honestly.
Probably.
Internally, the game is called Battlefield 6, but I think you and me know it's not going to be called Battlefield 6.
I'm pretty sure that's a working title.
Yeah. I think all of us are certain it's not going to be called Battlefield 6.
Yeah, I am convinced that is a working title. That is not.
Also, I don't think they'll want. They pay attention what's happening with the other game. For example, Black Ops 6 came out 8 months ago. I don't think they want to be associated with that. Also, the new Modern Warfare that's coming out in a year and something got leaked. The title. It's called Modern Warfare, but how it's spelled, it's the Korean 4. So it's Modern Warfare, but with a Korean symbol, which stands for 4. It's like, that's really clever.
Confuse the shit out of some people.
No, it's still gonna be called Modern Warfare 4, but on the artwork, it's gonna be in Korean.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. That's gonna confuse some people. It's got to be explained. That's the thing.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
I mean, I'm not saying.
Yeah,
it's not.
so
I'm just saying there's gonna be some motherfuckers that are gonna be like, what?
Maybe Battlefield 6, like I don't know, some funny 6 number or something. I don't know. Regardless, not important.
I don't think they're gonna go that route. I really hope they're not, because there's one other fatigue that people are fucking getting like really hardcore into these days, and that's remake fatigue and remaster fatigue.
Yeah.
So I think if they want to be smart about it, they need to distance themselves from that shit too. If they're gonna call it Battlefield 6, then fine, commit to it. Have the balls and do it. Basically, is what I'm saying.
I hope it's not.
Because then it doesn't come off as a remake or anything to the people.
Yeah.
If you come out with a game, it's just straight up Battlefield. Hell, even I'm going to sit here and go, well, hopefully this is a good rehash of old ideas.
Actually, wait,
up.
Now you all go on that topic. So let's just go to the next topic so we can talk about that. So, next topic. EA cancels Black Panther game. Why it matters, you might say? This is a Battlefield-related podcast. Why do you care what game EA cancels? So, EA just recently closed a studio, Cliffhanger Games, that were making a single-player Black Panther game. The reason it matters is because basically it says, as I quote, according to IGN, EA Entertainment, so EA Entertainment, there's two EAs under EA umbrella. There's EA Sports, EA Entertainment. EA Sports is your FIFAs, UFCs, Madden.
Basically, if it has a 2-digit number in the title, it's made in Tiburon.
Yeah,
it's EA
it's sports games, right? Yeah, and then you have EA Entertainment. I remember we talked about this when the company split. They were thinking, well, okay, what does that mean in general?
Speaking of EA Sports, I just got to say this right now.
What?
They need to bring that. They need to like bring that. I don't know if they still do it or not, but if they better. If they don't, I'll be disappointed. That EA Sports, it's in the game. That shit. They better still do that.
I
have no interest in playing sports games, but they better.
I think it still does when they open FIFA, but I don't remember. I haven't touched it for a while. Anyway, so according to IGN, EA Entertainment, which is what Battlefield is part of, EA Entertainment President Laura Mealy said that the company is going to be focusing more on a small handful of franchises. Per the report, Mealy specifically says that Battlefield, The Sims, Skate, and Apex Legends will be the key games moving forward. That said, they'll still have support for games like Iron Man, which is development at Motive Studios, which they're also making the Battlefield single player, and the upcoming Star Wars Jedi title from Respawn. BioWare is also set to continue working on the next Mass Effect game. The rest is not important because they talk about EA Sports and stuff, so don't care. So, they cancelled Black Panther game. And
That means more people can work on other stuff.
No, they got fired.
Oh, well, I mean, in a way, I was right. They can still go work on other stuff.
Well, yeah, if
different job.
Listen, yeah, if available, they probably like shifted some people around. Like, hey, do you want to work on this? Can you move here and so on? Like, yeah, but they closed the studio down that was working on the game. And I heard that the game was really ambitious, and they've been working on it for a really long time. I mean, I get that, and apparently, EA is probably looking like, listen. Like, I know people love to bitch on publishers in this case, like, oh yeah, give developers time to, let them cook. But we have to be realistic here. EA is not Rockstar. They're not making GTA every 10 years. And they have to produce a game. And if the game is taking like 7-8 years to make and it's a Black Panther game, and you know damn well it's not going to be GTA levels of success, you have to think like, is it worth all this effort to make this kind of game?
Yeah.
So, but why I'm even mentioning
side kicks in.
Yeah, but why I'm even mentioning about this? Well, because they're all focusing on on Battlefield right now. So all these handful of franchises they have, that means this next Battlefield game, has to be a fucking success. Not only is the most expensive game they are making. There are clearly loads of development problems in the background. Not only but EA, there's like loads of studios that are making games, and there's loads of development problems happening, right? It's not happening at Activision. The next Call of Duty is going to be a fucking disaster because development problems, understaffed, all that kind of stuff, right? EA is probably dealing with the same problems. Why Activision problems are unique to Activision? No, all these problems are probably the same at EA, Probably big like developers leaving the industry, experienced developers leaving the industry or opening their own studios. You're trying to bring new people to the company, try to teach them like and educate them how the company works, how the engine works, all that kind of stuff, right? And just the fact that this is going to be one of the most expensive games ever, this Battlefield game, this most expensive Battlefield game, boy, this is why they'll have to, this is why they're really picky where they announce the game, where they showcase the game. That's why the game was never at Summerfest, because it will compete with other games for that coverage. They don't want that. They want all the coverage because the game is fucking expensive. We need maximum exposure, maximum people playing this game and buying this game.
Right, and that's why I said it would make the most sense for them in order to do something like either internally or something that they could completely control. I mean, it's kind of one of the better things that they had about having EA Play when they were doing that as well. But
yeah,
I mean, EA Play had its own fucking problems. That being said, they absolutely cannot drown themselves in coverage and exposure from anybody else. But again, like I mentioned at the top, there's other sharks in the water they got to worry about. They got to worry about GTA. They've got to worry about GTA. There's also GTA that's coming. And I think at some point next year, I'm pretty sure we're getting GTA as well. So it's pretty saturated out there. I mean, that's a lot of games to go up against.
Assuming it's not going to be delayed again. I mean, if they're aiming,
it would be a godsend.
Yeah, if Battlefield is aiming for March release, which I still stand by that, February-March release date, I think that's a given. Listen, like you could say, like the Black Panther game is called canceled because it got ambitious. Well, sure, there could be like loads of questions and everything. Maybe the developers were a bit too ambitious. Maybe EA was not ambitious enough.
Maybe they realized that people are getting superhero fatigue as well, and that the market's not very as well for it anymore. I mean, there's a lot that could have gone into that.
But that's AAA gaming in general these days. It's very, very saturated. It's not
business,
saturated,
baby.
But it's not saturated because these AAA games are working with such big budgets, right? They all that's why you have loads of cancellations for different video games. How many studios got closed down and everything is because budgets are insane, and if you know it's not gonna deliver, damn boy, you might as well close the studio before.
Get my tax write-off on it.
Yeah, at least you get your tax write-off. Yeah, at least you get your tax write-off or something like that. Like damage control.
Look at what Warner Brothers did with the Batwoman movie.
My God.
They had a finished product ready to go, and they were like, this is so bad, we're just going to cancel it and eat the tax return. and literally bury the original somewhere where no man will be able to get to it, like the Ark of the Covenant or some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is when it's done because it's actual garbage. If they're making that decision because it is legitimate, 100%, they're doing the human decision to be like, what we've made is not really that good. And instead of just shoving it out there, they've had some integrity and decided they just don't want to do it. Maybe it just not working the way they want it to. Accepting defeat. If that were the reason why the decision is made, I respect that. Because, I mean, that's real. Shit just don't work out sometimes. Not everything that is made deserves to be put out there. That being said, I don't really think that's what the case is. I think a lot of it is just how much did we spend on this? How much do we think we're going to make off of this? I mean, regardless of whether the product is good or not, if it ain't going to make no money, then
Yeah, that's the sad reality. Like, listen, I always gonna bitch about AAA publishers and everything, how they run their businesses and everything. But in this case, I kind of get it. Like, I hate to defend EA. I really hate it. But at the same time, I kind of get it. Listen, when you have developers, like ambitious developers coming to you, listen, we have this product, and we believe we can make gazillion dollars. Like, okay, how much? What's the budget you need? I need this. Like, cool. Can you provide this in this budget? Like, yes. If they don't, I'm like, well, now you need to put more money to finish the product. And then it gets more expensive and so on, and they're like thinking like, oh fuck. Like,
yeah, next thing you know, it becomes a pork bill project, and if they, and the spending gets out of control and other stuff. My argument against that is I think what needs to happen is the budget. I can't say the budget doesn't need to be worried about so much, because look at Kojima and how Kojima operates and what he does. You give that man a good amount of money, that man will make something fucking good. It might take a while, but it will be fucking good for the most part. And there are people who will buy it. The problem being is Kojima has that cult following. He can get away with it. A lot of places don't and can't, so they won't.
Especially Battlefield. Listen, Battlefield.
Especially Battlefield.
I'm sorry, people, but Battlefield needs. It needs something. It needs all the help it can get. I'm sorry.
But at its core, that's part of the problem too. The business side and the creative side have now mingled way too much in game development. This is one of those ones where I should be shaking my cane about this, but it's the God's honest truth. When the business side got too involved with the creative side of it, because the business side needed to dictate how the creative side ran in order to operate the business side and make revenue, that's when shit started going downhill. What should been is development just needs to make something good, and then the business side needs to figure out how to monetize that, instead of both being this horrible horrible gear setup that just doesn't mesh well, it doesn't function well, and it doesn't generate anything worthwhile that often to consider it a good business model. But everybody thinks it's a good business model. But it needs to stop. Look at Doom. Look at the Doom franchise. Do you think that game has been developed with monetization in mind?
No.
Do y'all really think the Doom trilogy, the most recent Doom trilogy, was developed with even a fucking second of monetization in mind? Fuck no. It went, we're going to make something good. We're going to make something that we know people are going to enjoy and they're going to fucking play. And then we're going to sell that. We're not going to give a shit about how to sell other shit while we're in the process of trying to make something good. So I sit here and I say this, make something good. It will fucking sell all on its own, and ways to generate money will bring themselves forth on their own, my children. Listen to me as I speak to you from high upon the mountain of common sense. Anyway.
If common sense exists.
And have some fucking integrity and tell corporate to go fuck yourselves when they want you in order to sit through meetings about how to monetize some shit. Go, yo, we got better shit to do. We got work to do. Fuck this shit. That is your problem after we're done.
So just to end on this topic, I'm just going to say this. Because the stuff we're dealing, most expensive Battlefield game ever, They need maximum exposure. They need maximum, like, they need to hit the notes right? So, this is actually perfect on the next one. This next Battlefield game is a reboot. Why do I say it's a reboot? Well, all the signs point that it needs to be a reboot. So that's one thing. That's what we discussed for the last 20 minutes. It needs to be a reboot. That's one thing. But why I think it's gonna be a reboot, like, actually, like, I guess, evidence, I guess. So, Temporal, our famous Battlefield leaker, right? He went data mining, and he found some classic maps being worked on Battlefield 6, or the next Battlefield game. A couple episodes ago, us three, you, me, and Andre, we talked about propaganda and telemarket being available for the next game. We don't know if it's coming or not, but they were the references were there in the files. Like, cool. So maybe we're getting remastered maps. 64 players and everything makes sense. It will not be a bad thing to remaster some maps. So we talked about a couple episodes ago, but as I went a bit deeper, and he went a bit deeper, he found that Operation Firestorm was also mentioned there. So the old classic Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 map, Operation Firestorm and everything. I was like, okay, so we're getting propaganda, telemarket, and Operation Firestorm back in the game. It seems like it, right? In quotation. Seems like we might be getting these maps as remasters in the next game. Cool. Why does it matter? How does it prove that it's a reboot? Isn't that basically says it's not a reboot? Catch is, Temporal, as he's going through the files, he noticed that all these maps are mentioned, but they're mentioned in different locations than they originally were. So in Battlefield 3, Operation Firestorm was in Iran. Propaganda was in North Korea. And telemarket, I don't know, where was it? Iran too? I guess? I think it was, right?
Think so.
Anyway, it was a location, right? Back in those games. But in this game, in this new upcoming game, these remastered maps will be placed in different locations. So Operation Firestorm will be apparently in Bulgaria. Propaganda... Actually, wait, no. Sorry. Propaganda will be placed in Bulgaria, not North Korea. Operation Firestorm is placed in Turkmenistan? So, okay, so there was a map in the Battlefield Labs that they played recently. The one in the mountains. I forgot the name. Capstone? I think that's what the map is called, right? It's in some stand country, right? I don't know which country.
One of the stands.
One of the stands, right? So that's what the Battlefield Labs map was.
It's a place that has both grass and desert and shelves.
Yeah. So apparently Operation Firestorm is part of the same country. So those two maps maybe like next to each other or something like that, like the lore-wise, right? So that's not Iran. That's a different country. And then what we don't know about telemarket, it was never mentioned. Oh, also forgot, downtown for Battlefield Hardline was also mentioned. So that might also coming back, and that's probably going to be not LA. It's going to be maybe a different location.
Yeah, but that's an American location. Like, what are they going to switch that around to? This is now all of a sudden it's in the UK.
I mean, we have buildings.
I mean, I would hope you have buildings.
We have
there.
buildings.
Christ, what do you guys live in? Holes in
we
the
have
ground?
buildings, and we make a cup of tea in there and everything.
No wonder you guys bitch about the rain so much. Your
because we don't
flooded.
We don't have buildings. It's just like it just rains on us. It's like
it's just you. It's just your entire populace standing outside in boiler caps and fucking umbrellas and just. Righto, is it time for tea yet?
Yeah, like, oh, you make tea from the rain itself.
Yeah. Standing there with your teacup beholden out and just, whatever your favorite brand is, you just have a box of it in your long coat.
Yeah.
And you just pull forthwith and
then being me, you have a cup of tea and you pour a fucking monster in it. Like, yeah, let's go. But anyway,
meanwhile, we Americans have buildings and coffee.
Oh yeah, the first world problems, But anyway, why? So all these maps, right? Fan favorite maps from all the games, and in this new Battlefield game, apparently will be in new locations.
I'm just gonna hold on real quick. I mean, is it like, have we seen these maps yet?
No. Just,
Okay, so
just
before anybody gets overly excited, let's stop and remember one thing, kids. DICE has a habit, or some of the older DICE devs, or even in the lineage of the people who have worked on the Battlefield franchise, have this nice habit of performing things under subterfuge, where they make you think one thing is happening and then something completely different happens. Keep that in mind as we go forward.
Yep. So just because it's in the files doesn't mean it's coming or whatever.
Exactly. It
Yep.
could be they could be fucking with us because they know we're gonna data mine. They know
Yep.
the community's gonna pick through everything with a fine-tooth
Yep.
comb. They
Yep.
knew they're not dumb. So it could be things to just throw us off. Let's just keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
Not to kill anybody's little happiness here, but let's just be real.
Yeah, so that's that. But yeah, so because assuming they're coming, and this is all true, they're gonna be in different name locations. Well, this basically tells me this is a reboot. This new Battlefield game is a reboot. As I said, I think it needs to be a reboot. I think it needs a fresh, clean start, and everything. You need to bring this franchise back to its glory days, but you can't do the same thing as you've been doing for the last 15, 10 years. So let's do a reboot. But hey, we want to bring the good stuff with us, right? We don't want to abandon all the good stuff that we did back in all the games. No,
we should be proud of our heritage.
So why not take propaganda from North Korea and remake it into a Bulgaria, right? Bulgaria makes sense. East European country, those buildings and blocks and everything. Instead of Kim Jong-un's or whatever his name is, statue at a flag or whatever the flag is, it will be, I don't know, some statue of some Soviet leader or some crap. We have architecture in East Europe that, you can't do that. It's basically propaganda with a different coat of paint, but it's a different country, different location. But hey, plays like propaganda.
Not just this. I mean, map-wise speaking, how the map and the Earth looks, I mean, they could tie that specifically to their canon, but the geopoliticals, I mean, that... If Battlefield's smart and they really want to reboot, then they would take advantage of that fact and just completely revamp the geopolitical situation
that's what
away from the current one to differentiate it.
Well, that's what they're going to do,
That would be a
apparently,
smart move.
Yeah, so apparently there's two factions in the game, which is going to be the whole single player about NATO versus Pax Armata. And Pax Armata, from what people seen, from what is we've seen the playtest and the leaks and data mine and everything, it's not basically West versus East, right? Because apparently the Pax Armata faction, it's not just a military company or whatever, right? It's not, what's the word, PMCs.
It's not just a PMC. It's a PMC that's everywhere. It's an omnipotent PMC, an OPMC, if you will.
Yeah. So apparently it has Spanish on their side. They have Balkans. They have German, I think.
It's the most neutral ass enemy in the world, so nobody can get mad.
Yeah,
it's everybody is getting in on this dumb shit. I mean, I get it.
I can actually
smart.
tell you. I can actually tell you because I remember. Here we go. Balkan, Spanish, and some sort of East something. Algeria, or North Africa, something like that. So kinda I get that geopolitical thing. So it's more like North versus South kind of thing, not West versus East. So it's kind of like they flipped it. If we're talking about geopolitics from this game, if that's the case. But that's that. So Bulgaria, I mean, geopolitically, according to map, yeah, I guess it makes sense. It's like the southeast of Europe, and I guess northwest of Europe. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Middle Eastern European beefing, baby.
So yeah, so basically, this game is a reboot. Politics are different, all that kind of stuff. Forget what you knew about the next game, previous games. Doesn't matter. This is a new, fresh start. So yeah, let's remake maps, right? But let's remake them in this new universe. Hey, there's war in Bulgaria. Okay, let's put propaganda there. We can repaint it. It looks like propaganda, smells like propaganda, but it's a different paint, different color of paint or something like that. You know what? It's fine. I think it's clever. I think it's one of the cleverest ideas they can come up with. Bring Operation Firestorm back. Sure, it's a different country, but who cares? If it plays like Operation Firestorm, you will not care what fucking country it's from. honestly. But the lore people, they will care. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's kind of cool. It's a nice Easter egg, I guess. So I think it's clever. I think it's a really clever idea. Like, just take old maps that we used to love from all the games. We can't reuse in the same location because it doesn't make sense in the universe we're making. But doesn't mean we can remake it in this universe. We can. I think it's clever. Some will bitch. Some really tiny minority will bitch. But I think majority of people will not care. They just want these maps back. And also,
I think it's just what the franchise just needs to do. Because I mean, let's be real. I mean, Operation Firestorm. Operation. That means it's a plan. It's a thing that's happening. It's not necessarily a location, if we think about it. So Operation Firestorm can happen damn near anywhere. Now the reason why it's being named, if that's not being carried over, I would get kind of upset about, because the firestorm is basically oil fields of flame. So if it's going to be where it's going to be, then I want to see some fucking burning oil there.
Yeah, as long as that's
I want that. That needs to be there.
Yeah.
Same thing with Operation Metro. I made the joke in pre-production. I'd be like, no, watch. The dumb thing would be is if they'd make it Operation Metro, but put it in the fucking sewer, where that wouldn't make any goddamn sense whatsoever. Again, Operation. If it's in a metropolitan or a metro, as what the Europeans call their tube system, it could be Operation Metro in New York City for all you fucking know. We got subways here too, bitch.
It's called Operation Underground or something. Oh, wait, they had Operation Underground in Battlefield 5. Wait a minute. So, yeah, you can rename maps. So, yeah, exactly. So, it can be like, yeah.
Now, things like Caspian Border, you can't get away with just changing. Because you have now locked yourself into that location.
Well, you can
Caspian Border.
You can change the Caspian name into something else.
Right, you could have a border.
Yeah,
you could have a border.
It's like,
there.
let's say, I don't know,
keep the idea.
Poland.
Because Caspian Border was a fucking amazing map. Fuck you people.
So, but now you can remake that into something else. But it's still Caspian Border. But like again, instead of like Caspian Border, it's insane. Let's say Polish Border, right?
Locker. Operation Locker. Ah, there's another one. You want another prison map? We could have another Operation Locker.
Yeah. So, I think this is fine.
Do it at Alcatraz.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
Why not?
People have been asking for Alcatraz map for God knows how long in Battlefield. They think that it will be an amazing conquest map. Sure, maybe.
The problem is tying it into the thing is tying it into the single player. That's the whole part of the reason of a lot of the maps for why they exist for, is because, I mean, you think about it. Battlefield 4, a lot of those maps covered a lot of the conflicts and what happened post the campaign. If you look into it, that's what it was supposed to be. And same thing with Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1, a lot of the multiplayer maps, they were tied in with the battles that happened in the War of World War I. They were tied in with what happened during the single player. Same thing. We keep going. It has always been a thing. The maps for multiplayer for that particular game tie in some way, shape, or form to the single player happenings in that particular game. Unless it is a spin-off and made completely obvious. And you're told that. Because that has happened. Yeah. Vietnam.
Yep. Also, it's not the first
Bad Company.
Also, I just remembered. Battlefield Hardline. They remade Grand Bazaar into LA.
Yep.
Yep, it was a market in LA.
It's a Grand Bazaar.
Yep.
It's a bazaar is a market.
Wait, was it Chinatown? I think it was Chinatown.
It could have been. It would have made sense.
Yeah, because I remember.
Yeah, because there were a lot of bazaar markets down there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Chinatown. Yeah, Hardline remade Grand Bazaar. It was Chinatown in LA. So okay.
You could have Grand Bazaar at a fucking farmer's market.
Yeah. So yeah, it's if anyone bitches about this, like, well, it happened.
Not Whole Foods. I'm just gonna clear that one right now. Whole Foods is not a fucking farmer's market. That is not it. No.
Yeah, Whole Foods is anything but a farmer's market. Even I know that.
It's a goddamn grocery store.
Even I know that, yeah. But yeah, I think this is clever. I think this is clever that, take old maps, remake them into this new universe, and Battlefield's a reboot, needs a fresh start. I think this basically proves that this game is a reboot. In my eyes,
there are good ideas.
Yeah,
now let's see what the execution is.
Yeah, let's see what the execution is. But in my eyes, this is basically, if the data mines are correct and everything is here not fake and they're working on, and this is what they're aiming for, this basically confirms to me that it's not gonna be called Battlefield 6. It's just gonna be called Battlefield. Fresh new start, fresh new ideas, fresh new era. Like, yeah, we remember the good old times. but we have to move on. And that's
This
great.
is how we're going to pay homage to them with
Yep,
nods
yep,
and other shit. Yeah,
Yep.
and it would be wise for them to do that. You know, restart the franchise without disrespecting what came before
Yep.
it and taking those lessons and all the ideas that have been learned over the years and actually applying them properly. That would be exactly what it needs. Will it get it? Stay
see.
tuned.
Yeah, we will see. So, before we move on to the next topic, sponsors, Ray!
Surprise! This was not time-stamped. We hope you're enjoying the show so far, but we need to stop for a second and tell you about some important stuff. And now that we have your attention, it's time to tell you all about our amazing Patreon that is helping us keep the show going. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier.
But yeah, episode 47, you paid for this.
I'm sorry.
I'm not, I don't care.
In my defense, I didn't know it was broken or it was going to break upon squeezing it gently. Battlefield 1 podcast was rebooted in March of 2023. We learned a lot of lessons from our previous shows that consisted of 41 episodes, and we've been building amazing foundations for the future with this current show. There's a reason why we're the best Battlefield-related podcast available on Spotify and anywhere else. We've also had the honor of being listened to by DICE, Ripple Effect, and other developers as well. Now, we want to share even more with you through our Patreon.
And I've never seen her. So I will be like crying and yelling, and I will not be the same person I am right now.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready for that kind of emotion. I know we're emotionally close and everything, but I don't think we're that emotionally close.
Yeah, that will be an experience of its own.
We want to thank everyone that has joined as a free member or subscribed to our Patreon in the last year. The support is greatly appreciated, always was, and always will be. It's amazing, and it only motivates us to continue with our Battlefield journey. By simply becoming a free member or even subscribing to any paid tier, you're not only supporting the show, but you're also getting a lot of content back in return.
Right, because included gets so annoying sometimes, I actually got so desperate I installed League of Legends again.
Oh my god. The perks of any tier is you'll get ad-free early access to all of our future episodes. You can already listen to the previous episodes ads-free as well, simply by being a free member. There's no more waiting, no more interruptions, just pure unfiltered Battlefield content straight to your ear holes, from our mouth holes, and anywhere else. You know, it's amazing, isn't it? The only reason why CTE did as well as it did back in the day, guys, is because it wasn't locked down to secrecy. Those that couldn't participate were still able to see what was going on. That's the point that I'm getting at right now. We're also giving you a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into making the Battlefield 1 podcast or any other content we produce, from planning sessions to recording mistakes and everything in between. You'll get an insider's perspective on how we bring each episode to life pretty much from start to finish.
And the reason why I'm saying
I'm
that...
sorry.
Yeah, it's your fault.
It's all
Ray.
my fault.
It's all your fault, Ray. You ruined the whole show. We need to cancel it again. Again.
Just gotta can it for another 8 months again. Just appear out of nowhere with
We need to cancel it again.
colors.
Ray, what the fuck did you do?
And that's only Battlefield. We're also offering access to our exclusive Patreon podcast series, Live Gaming Gathering. This is a show where friends and special guests get together and talk about everything from the video game industry to movies and whatever else is on our minds at that particular time. With more than 40 episodes already available, there's hours upon hours of content for you to listen to. All right, I think we need to move on because we've been kind of on this subject for about the last 15 minutes now.
Yeah.
We got a couple of things in order.
Are you feeling better now? Let this
Yes,
team off.
I do feel better. Oh no, wait, one more thing. For example, Angela. We've on discussion.
I'm not going to mention any names. Trust me, these are some of the most fun and amazing conversations we have ever had on the show. Because it's just us being us, relaxed and actually having fun. Almost like you're sitting alongside us with the conversation. Yeah.
So the reaction from the Fortnite community is like, okay, every time we see a Cybertruck in the server, it's our mission to drop everything we're doing and send that player back to the lobby.
We also believe in keeping our patrons informed, so we post monthly recaps to let you know what you probably missed during last month's episode, and we're making sure that you're not missing anything important. Just recently, we opened a brand new Discord server where people can talk to each other and get all of the latest updates about our content or the Lanky Soldier channel. Find the link in the description of this episode or at our Patreon. No subscription needed.
You are as a player.
been measured.
Yeah, you've been measured.
Because we're confident that you'll love the content we're creating, we're offering a free trial that you can use at any time. We believe we're making good content that will make you stay, and we would not be offering free trials if we didn't think so.
I've seen a lot of people like literally get excited, like, you know what? This looks very familiar, clearly ripped from somewhere, but damn it, that looks good.
So, if you want to support the show and get all of these amazing extras, head on over to patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep delivering the content that you enjoy. Thank you for being part of the Battlefield community, and thank you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to seeing you on our Patreon. Now, let's get back to the show.
Anyway, welcome back.
Wow, that was a great sponsor read, wasn't it?
Thank you, Ray, for that.
Sorry to spring that on you.
Thank you for that sponsor read, Ray. Thank you so much. So
You're welcome.
yeah, join our Patreon. We have some cool stuff there. Right. Okay. So for the last 20 minutes, half an hour, I wanna discuss this. So actually, wait. Before we continue, what's your opinion about no weapon restrictions? I know we talked a pre-show, but for the audience, what's your opinion? Because
I'm
so,
fine with it.
So no weapon restrictions. That's what we're talking about here for a moment. So every class can use any weapon they want. There's no weapon restrictions like in other all the Battlefield games. You can use any weapon you want. So Ray, what's your opinion?
I don't mind it. I'm not. I'm going to use it to my fullest advantage, to the point that, as far as I can tell from my gameplay style. So, if you're going to let me run around with 2 primaries and they can be whatever I want, and I want to have a bolt action and a shotgun, then guess what? I'm doing it.
Yeah. So
And if I want to have a 44 Magnum on my hip, let me do it. Give me my assortment of guns.
yeah. So for the, I talked on the last episode when I was recording by myself. As said, it's really not a big deal. It's not important, and I think it's easier for the new players that will be playing this game, right? And as said, for a lot of people, this is gonna be their first ever Battlefield. Like, this is gonna be their first ever Battlefield, and this is gonna be their Battlefield 3 game. For us, it was Battlefield 3. For the new audience that will play this game, for them, it's gonna be their Battlefield 3, right? And I remember Battlefield 2 players complaining, Battlefield 3 is a casual Battlefield, it's a Call of Duty clone, all that kind of stuff. That's what people said about Battlefield 3 before it came out. I remember Battlefield community losing their shit that this game is casual, Battlefield 3 is not a true Battlefield game, all that kind of stuff. Was Battlefield 3 a bad game?
Yeah.
Was it a bad game? No, it's a fantastic game, and a lot of people still think it's one of the best Battlefield games. And we've got same story here. Like, oh, this is not a Battlefield. They're trying to copy code and everything. Like, oh, they're trying to copy Warzone. Yeah, we're back to the same freaking story, same shit. But realistically, no weapon restrictions on classes. I don't think it's a big deal. If you're a good player, decent player with some brain cells, and apparently having a couple of brain cells in this era and be good at first-person shooter is apparently a talent. Apparently being above average is a talent. Apparently, that's a completely different topic I want to talk about on Patreon later on. But yeah, it's just, I think it's fine. And when we say 2 primary weapons, it's only assault class. It's also something like ability, right? Like you lose a gadget, but instead you get an extra weapon, or you can have 2 gadgets and 1 weapon, right? And a pistol. Like, that's normal, right? So apparently it's a thing. So it's a choice. But to have that choice, you need to sacrifice something to have those 2 primary weapons for the assault class. And people saying like,
right, which makes sense.
Yeah, like balance, right? Like, and people say, well, assault class is now OP as fuck and everything. Sure, maybe balance reasons, I get it. But having 2 primary weapons on a grand scale of things for the assault class, it's not a big deal, honestly. Like, if you've been playing other games, like other than Battlefield, you know, Call of Duty, PUBG, or some, I don't know, Splitgate just came out, like, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to have 2 weapons there, like 2 primary weapons. Like, it's not a big deal. You can't shoot those
primary has been a thing forever.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and like, what, you're gonna shoot those 2 primary weapons at the same time? No. Also, when you switch weapons, right, that takes time. It's like reloading. What's the difference? Like, I don't see any difference, like, switching a weapon and reloading. It's the same thing, you know? Okay, maybe because I'm above average player, I don't care. For me, it's just like, whatever. But people that only been playing these Battlefield games, just only Battlefield games, that's the only thing they know, you know? So I get, like, maybe to you, it's really weird, like, oh, 2 primary weapons, that's OP. Not really, if you've been playing the other games. Yeah.
If they restrict the amount, now I would also think that not only carrying 2 primaries would restrict the amount of gadgets that you would be able to have. I would also think it would also restrict the amount of ammo that you could carry for both of those guns, because it would not make sense for me in order to be able to carry in one kit be able to carry an M16 and like 6 magazines for that shit, which even that in of itself I think is kind of unrealistic, because I think that the most you might be able to fit on a plate carrier is like, I'll actually know, because I'm sure somebody out there will send me a video of a dude managing to fit like 20 mags on a fucking plate carrier.
Oh, there's
but
always one dude,
being
yeah.
realistic, there's always that one guy that will figure that shit out, so I'm not going to say that it's impossible. But let's be practical here. I mean, if anybody, I'm sure there are people in the military that would say that the most they'd be able to carry and be practical is maybe 8 mags top. So for video game's sake, let's say 6 magazines. That's 30 rounds each,
I'm counting I'm counting how much Call of Duty has. 7 mags.
7 mags?
If it's
so 6 to 7, I guess.
If it's a 30-round mag, 7 rounds. 7 mags, yeah.
Right. All right. So unless the gun fires the exact same ammunition, fires the exact same magazine, which would make no sense. Why would you want a different gun unless it's a sniper rifle or something? The amount of ammo that you're going to be able to carry should change. Like, I should not be able to carry a fucking M249 and 3 box magazines, actually, if you think about it, because I'm pretty sure it's 100 to a box magazine, and I've seen being able to carry 200 on your person, so that's 2 box magazines you're carrying.
Do we care
Plus, being able to carry a 6 stack of fucking M16 magazines. Let's be real here. If that's going to be the case, then I should be restricted to 2 box magazines for the M249, and that includes the one that's in the damned gun, plus 4 magazines for my assault rifle, minus the one that's in the gun.
Realistically, Ray, no one, I don't think, dies or anyone.
I don't think anybody's carrying an M249 and an M16 at the same time.
Well,
I
don't think they will care how many
video.
I don't think they will care how many mags you can carry realistically. They're just gonna put as much as long as it makes balance wise. In COD, 210 bullets. It makes sense because it's just like the balance way, how the game works. Like, it's enough for a gunfight and a second gunfight and whatever. So it's gonna be the same thing. Also, I've been proposing, for example, support class. There's no support class anymore. It's kind of like medic / support. Back in the day, I wanted like a limited ammo for support, and what triggered the gameplay for the class is basically the reloading, because we have a fucking LMG, right? Like in Medal of Honor Warfighter, the support class in Medal of Honor Warfighter, you had LMG, right? Took ages to reload, but you had unlimited ammo, and you can always pick up ammo from your teammates and everything. So I was kind of proposing same thing for Battlefield. Like, the support guy will drop ammunitions for himself anyway, right? So what's the point? Like, might as well like have a limited
Usually
ammo.
Where you're finding a support player, you're going to find an ammo box.
Usually, yeah. So
that was kind of the thing. Same thing with like where you will find medics, you will find medic boxes.
Yeah, so I was just proposing that, but now because we don't have that support class anymore, we have kind of like support / medic, so it will not make sense in this game. But people like say like, oh, sniper on a medic feels wrong. You also assume that medic will revive you anyway. That player wants to camp on the hill with a sniper anyway. Who cares what class he is? He will not revive you. He will not drop you health or anything. You assume he will do that anyway, right? Or people are like,
your frontline players are going to be your obvious frontline players. Those are going to be the people who are going to carry ammo, and they're going to carry health, and they're going to throw it when they need it at the very least. So I would say that this is going to encourage more bunching up and squad play, which it should. It needs to. So now, instead of being able to look at the mini... And in a way, I'm going to argue for this, as much as I didn't like it at first. But now I'm going to argue for it. If you see an assault player on the map, that gives you more of an incentive in order to cover that motherfucker, because he could have either health or ammo with which your ass needs.
Yeah. I personally
so bunch up and fucking help out.
I don't know. As I've been playing other games and everything, for me, it's not a problem. Battlefield community is really, really vocal about this. Listen, even if they restrict the weapons, cool. You're just gonna make this more difficult. Like, okay, not difficult, just more annoying. Okay, you're gonna have universal weapons. Okay, what are those universal weapons? What, SMGs, carbines? Carbines basically assault rifles. So what do you change with that? Nothing. You achieved nothing. Like, as soon as you have universal weapons, those restrictions mean
My
nothing.
brother in Christ, you're missing the one big major difference of Battlefield between all of the rest of the other first-person shooters and multiplayer. Battlefield does not let you scavenge ammo off of dead bodies.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot.
I did it in Battlefield 4. I literally played Battlefield 4 on PS5 just a couple of days when I was on holiday.
It's not been something that they've done that often. I don't know. I don't think I've ever fucking picked up ammo off of a corpse in a Battlefield game. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm
That's
pretty
always been a COD thing.
No, I'm pretty sure I walked over.
If you could pick ammo up off of fucking corpses, then what would be the point in being able in throwing fucking ammo bags down? Now you can pick weapons up off of corpses in Switch, but you've never been able to pick ammo up off of corpses in Battlefield.
Okay,
Fuck you.
I literally played Battlefield 4 2 weeks ago
Maybe you picked up the same fucking weapon and that you picked up their kit.
Maybe.
But you've never fucking picked up ammo off a corpse in a Battlefield game, and that's the key difference.
Actually, wait, can you do that in
can't
Battlefield
you don't
2042?
scavenge in Battlefield.
Wait, can you do it? I think you can pick up the same ammo in 2042, though. No, I think you can.
Not that I'm aware of. But again, that would make an ammo bag fucking pointless. Because what's the point in throwing ammo bags if I can just take and kill a bunch of fucking players and mow through and pick up ammo off
Well,
them?
it's not like in COD.
That's why COD doesn't do it. COD realizes they don't need ammo bags because you can pick it up off of corpses.
Thing is, gunfights in COD are closer. In Battlefield, they're not that close. I don't think you will run across the field to pick up his ammo.
You would be amazed on what I would do if I ran out of fucking ammo and
Fucking
I
throw
needed another
smokes like
goddamn
throw
kit, my dude.
freaking smokes
Throw
in
a
the opening
fucking
in front of
smoke
the tank. I
grenade
just
if you
need that
got it,
ammo.
haul ass to the nearest corpse and hope to God you pick up an assault rifle. Brother, we've been there. We've done it. Don't even try that shit. That was a goddamn 101 tactic back in the day because we always used to tell people, don't fucking kill yourself to respawn with a new kit. Just pick up another fucking kit if you know a dude's got another kit, if he's got a good kit. If he's running what you're running, just pick it up.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't
stuck
think
in
ever
my
in
head.
my life.
It's stuck in my head. I literally played on PS5, played BF4 just 2 weeks ago while I was on holiday. I'm pretty certain I picked up ammo.
And I do not believe you for a fucking second.
Maybe I'm tripping.
Scavenging is not a thing in Battlefield.
Maybe I'm tripping.
Maybe
I'm tripping. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. But I'm pretty sure that's a thing. But I could be wrong. Regardless,
and it doesn't need to be a thing anyway.
Yeah.
It's always been Battlefield's thing. That
Also-
encourages you to bunch up in squads. Damn it!
Also, in the playtest, there were ammunition boxes, those ammo crates, whatever, those big ones. So it doesn't matter.
Stationary ones where you
Yeah.
resupply everything.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
I liked
It
those in
does-
Battlefield 5.
Like, yeah, go to your home flag, pick up your ammo from it. That's it. Oh no! Oh, support is not giving ammo. That's okay. Ammo crate.
yeah.
Ammo crate. Like, well, like.
I mean,
okay.
they were in strategic places, and you could only use them if you held the flag. So, I mean,
Yeah.
And the engineers, I think a lot of them, like they even with the tanks, you had to build the ammo depots for the vehicles. So, I mean, again, as much as people shit on that, I almost miss that now. I miss having that. That encouraged team play a lot. That gave, the engineers a reason in order to hang around for about like 2 or 3 minutes after capping a flag. It gave everybody a reason to hang around for 2 or 3 minutes, cover those guys and get the ammo shit set up and get the repair set up and get shit set up real quick. Okay, now we go take next flag. I liked that shit. Now that I look back on it,
Yeah.
nobody wanted to do it though. And there's just me out there with my hammer.
Yeah, so I know we've been talking for like, what, 50 minutes now, for 55.
Yeah, damn near an hour now.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna that next topic. I'm gonna leave it for the next episode because it's a big one. Because I was thinking we're gonna talk for at least half an hour, but I don't think I want to talk another half an hour. Just because I think it's a good episode for next time. And also the playtest. Apparently, playtest is happening this Friday, so maybe some new stuff will come out and everything.
Yeah, you know what would suck? It would be the one that I would get in because I gotta fucking work on Saturday. Watch.
Okay.
You sick sadistic bastards. That's when you're gonna send me my code. You're gonna give it to me on Thursday, and I'm gonna scream at the top of my lungs.
No,
in my shop.
you'll know Monday or Tuesday. You'll know Monday.
Yeah,
or
I
Tuesday.
will scream.
No, you'll know. We won't get it. Don't worry. We won't get it. Don't worry.
No, I've already tempted fate. It's gonna happen, brother. Watch.
Actually, you know what's fun? On the last episode, I mentioned why you not like all of us are not being invited, is because like they did it on purpose. They did it. They picked players that barely play any first-person shooters. That's why you see all this leaked footage, all right, of Battlefield Labs, right? All the shit players, like they never touched.
No, we don't want that guy in on our stuff because he'll keep his mouth shut and tell us how to do our game.
It's not even that. Like the reason you get like they invite those shitty players that never played a first-person shooter in their lives to play this playtest is because, like I said, they kind of want to make this game approachable for everyone. Like, if this potato player can die 20 times, get 2 kills, and still have fun, we succeeded, right? In a sense, they've succeeded. If they can do that, perfect. So that's what they're trying to achieve. And David Sirling, I've been quoting his thing for the last couple of episodes. He did say that they want to make this game approachable for everyone. Like, they want this game to be fun and entertaining, no matter of your skill level.
We want all the people in the world to play it, and I agree. It needs all the people in the world in order to find their fun in it. Because
Battlefield is that type of franchise. Yeah, Battlefield's that type of franchise that traditionally was an alternative to Call of Duty. So
I don't care where you're from. I just want to shoot you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care what, like I said on the last episode. I don't care what skill level you are, whatever. If you want to play with me and we have some fun, some Battlefield moments. Cool. I'm happy. If you're enjoying the game, I'm happy.
Dude, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm happy. Like, I really want this game to be fun, and I have a feeling this game will be really fun. How the launch will be, different story. If the launch of this game is gonna come out,
I mean, if history is to be,
yeah. Like from everything I've seen about this game so far, it looks really good. Looks really promising, and I think I'm gonna enjoy this really, really much. And especially they're building this foundation for the future, right? Like we already mentioned, Battlefield subscription thing, the cosmetics. You can customize your soldier individual parts of the of your body and everything. You can like change helmet, jacket. Like that's what we've been asking for forever, right?
Cha-ching! Good stuff. Yeah,
yes.
Just don't.
So that's
beat me over the head with it. Try to make me buy it.
Yeah. So the premise of the whole game looks really promising, and I think this will be a really fun game. And the premise someone described it as like Medal of Honor Warfighter with some Battlefield 3 sprinkled on, and maybe Battlefield 4 HUD on top. Great.
Okay.
That's a good combo. That's good combos. That's good ingredients for a game.
Am I supposed to be upset about that?
Yeah,
I mean, I really don't feel the need in order to be upset about this, kids. I mean, that's pretty much what we've been asking for a hot minute.
Yeah, so
let's give it a chance.
I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, so yeah, that's why the reboot thing is important. Why the Black Panther game was cancelled. Why there were not a Game Fest. This whole thing we've been talking for the last hour. This all connects into one singular picture, right? We see the full picture. The reason why they were not on Game Fest is because they need exposure. They don't want to share the exposure with other games because this game is expensive. That's why the Black Panther game is cancelled. It's too expensive and everything. Let's put all our, cards on these franchises that we have. We need to bring Battlefield back to that's why it's not DICE or EA or not EA, Ripple Effect or Criterion. It's Battlefield Studios now. They don't have 4 studios. It's just Battlefield Studios, right? They created a new name for these 4 studios to make things simple to understand for a casual person. Hey, this is made by Battlefield Studios. They're making a Battlefield game. Hey, this is why this game is a reboot. But hey, we're not scrapping all the things we did back in the day. We're bringing it back.
But at the same exact time, they just made it so incredibly easier in order to exercise the whole damn thing and 86 the whole thing should things go south. You think about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of scary, but at the same time, it's kind of good. I mean, it's centralized, but
there's autonomy in certain studios because, seems like, certain studios are working together, right? But they still, have their own individual say in what they're making, right? DICE is making a foundation for this game, yes, but Ripple Effect is going to be in charge of, the Battle Royale. Speaking of Battle Royale, have you seen the leaks for Battle Royale?
No.
Ray,
you know me. I have no interest in Battle Royale. That is beneath me.
So I will not go through the details right now because I don't think there's any point talking about leaks. Maybe I'll dedicate an episode just talking about that. But basically, long story short, because Tim Poller went through the files and he found everything, all the leaks, the gameplay mechanics, and everything about the Battle Royale. And let me tell you this, it's basically Warzone with a Battlefield twist on it. Literally. You have your custom loadouts, you have missions, contracts, whatever you want to call them. Vehicles are included, yeah, sure, maybe not be tanks, maybe not vehicles, maybe transport, but fuck no, they say like, hey, complete this contract, you get access to to some bunker and get a vehicle, some sort of. Like, cool! Apparently, instead of a gulag, you have some redeploy thing, like, not a gulag, because you can't have a gulag, because it's a Call of Duty thing, but apparently when you're dead, there's something called, what's it called? Observation, something like that. So apparently you can use the cameras on the game, on the map, and you can help your teammates that are still alive to give them information or something like that. So that just because you're dead, you still can help them somehow.
So you become a spotter when you die.
Some sort of commander wannabe or something like that. So dead players can be involved in helping your team, like that's still alive, to be, win the game and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically Warzone, but with a twist, which is kind of cool. And I remember the Battlefield community reading all these deals and everything, like, oh, you can have your custom weapons, oh, you can have missions, oh, you can have vehicle, you can have something else. I'm like, this sounds cool. Oh, Battlefield community, listen here. So listen here. I hope you're gonna post this on Reddit. So please, anyone listen, please post it. So Battlefield community, as I'm looking directly in the camera, when you were reading these Battle Royale leaks, and you said it was cool, and if you were one of the people that said, oh, Battlefield doesn't need a Battle Royale, fuck Battle Royale, blah, 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 and you read this, and you get excited, this is Warzone, my dude. This is Warzone. But that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Warzone is a good thing. The gameplay of Warzone is a very satisfying gameplay loop. But with a Battlefield twist, because it's a Battlefield game. We need a Battlefield, makes sense. The Warzone, gameplay loop is good. But there's nothing wrong of taking that game out and twisting it in your own way. That's fine. That's why I'm saying that you should play other games before you bitch about no weapon restrictions, about something else. That's the thing. Play other games and see what other games are doing, and you will understand what other people are coming from. Like when I said no weapon restrictions, a lot of people that play other games like, yeah, that's fine. Well, while Battlefield community is losing their mind, this is unbalanced, this is broken, this is not Battlefield, this is against Battlefield DNA. Battlefield 3, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in Battlefield 3 era, same thing, but it's instead of Battlefield 2 bitching about Battlefield 3, it's Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 veterans bitching about this new Battlefield game. Same story, same fucking thing. Anyway.
I mean, I'm just the crowd that just doesn't care about Battle Royale that much because I don't play it, so therefore I just don't.
That's fine, there's multiplayer.
I'm not passionate about it and not caring either.
Yeah, that's fine. There's multiplayer. It's funny how people think, oh, we should put more resources to multiplayer. That's fine, you're gonna get multiplayer. Multiplayer is not going away. That's gonna be the core feature of this fucking game. Multiplayer.
I mean, I don't go to Walmart and be like, fuck, man, these guys don't have pants in my size. I'm just gonna leave and not do the rest of my grocery shopping while I'm there. The whole place sucks. I hate it. I can't. I fuck it. I mean, if there's other shit to do and it's alright, I mean, whatever. Have fun with it. I don't get it.
Although I have to ask, though, simple, because the Call of Duty community is having this conversation. Do you care about bots in Battle Royale?
No.
Would you care if they 20 players out of 150 are bots? Or let's say 50.
Am I having fun playing this game?
Touche. Okay, touche. There's a civil war happening right now with Call of Duty because Call of Duty added Warzone Casual, and it's basically 120 bots and 30 real players. So it's
oh my god!
It's a normal battle royale, some limited progression, but it's a normal battle royale, but it's 120 bots and 30 players, and it's listen. It's not for me personally, because I don't think it's challenging for me, because I want to get wins and everything, and getting 20 kills against bots and then you get 2 kills on real players and you win the game. Sure, some people might find it satisfying, but I'm guessing you don't care if it's like Battle Royale has like, I don't know, 20 bots or something like that, or like half of the server is bots.
Are they taking away the mode and the ability to play with a full server full of nothing but players? Are they taking that away?
Well, in COD, that's by design that it's 120 bots. It's like a specific number of bots. That's
So the
by
bots
design.
were always there?
No, it's a new thing. It's a separate mode. It's called Warzone Casual. So instead of 150 players, you get 30 players. But the rest are bots.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're going to do this bot mode, right? Are they still going to do the other mode where you can play with nothing but players?
Well, that's what people bitching because they removed a certain playlist. They removed solos and quads. No, sorry. Solos and trios. They left duos and quads for real players, and they replaced those two with casual solos and quads.
All right, so I mean that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
But at the same time, here's probably what was happening. They were realizing that those game modes were being played that way anyway, because maybe not everybody in the world wants to play solo battle royale. I sure as shit don't. So where would I migrate? Duels and quads. I like squad-based gameplay. So quads would probably be where I would gravitate more. So if you fucking think about it, it's not that they're doing anything heinous. They're just going, oh, well, this is how you guys want to play or how you guys normally play anyway. Here it is. The only reason why you're complaining about it is because it's got a different label on it now. Like, if they would have just done this quietly, I don't think there would have been that much backlash on it because, again, it sounds like it was a thing that was already happening. It sounds like there was only fucking solo matches with maybe 30, 40 fucking real players out of 120, and that's like, what's the point?
There was rumors. There were rumors that they were testing that quietly, never mentioned that some players were bots. If that actually the case, I can actually believe that. Fortnite, for example, has it. If you play Fortnite, but the way Fortnite does it, right, it's real life. Okay, so it depends on your skill. If you're really, really good, full server will be full players, right? But if you're really, really bad, majority will be bots. And like there's like a middle ground. That's how they balance it in Fortnite. Well, COD doesn't do that. They just like either bots or no bots.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that the amount of bots that I'm playing against is dictated by what an arbitrary skill level is, because we've already been on this argument about metrics and basing things off of skill, because people can have really good days, really good weeks, really good constant sessions together with, you know, a squad that works and things work great, and then you have that one play session and it just annihilates your fucking stats, and next thing you know, you're playing against 80 some bots because of it. Now I can just artificially build my stats back up. That's dumb. Why take the choice away from me? If I want to play against a full server or solos, then let me have that option in order to at least engage in it in matchmaking and attempt to make that happen. If it has to be populated mostly with bots, then do it, but fucking tell me that that's what's going on. If I find out that I'm quitting it very often, then I very well may just stop playing solo altogether, and it may come out and just be like, that solo battle royale just really isn't a good thing. Maybe it's not something we actually want. You know,
I think, for example, me and you agree that, for example, Battlefield 2042 having bots taking places of real players until they join. I think that's a good thing.
It's a thing that needs to be because the game needs to be populated in order to be interesting and worthwhile.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's like any other game that's multiplayer focused.
I think that's a good thing. Battlefield 2022 achieved that, I think, nicely. It's not perfect, but I think it's a good start. And I presume the next Battlefield game will have similar systems because it is built on Battlefield 2042 Foundation. So I'm pretty sure they'll have the same tools and mechanics available for them to use if they wanted to. So if the server is not full, that's okay. We'll fill them up with bots. Battle Royale, with the way I see it, yeah, if there's a clear distinction, yeah, that's fine. But I personally want to play against real-life players because that's my nature personally, because I personally don't find it enjoyable to play against bots, because I'd rather play a single player than some sort of... I'd rather play Doom then, right? You know, I'd rather kill demons, right? Than bots in Warzone or Battlefield Battle Royale.
But you're killing bots anyway. You're killing bots in a single-player game. So what's the fucking difference? What's the point? It's just how you're treating the game and how you're thinking about the game. Do I have a problem playing a fucking multiplayer game if I got players surrounding me and I have bots on the field because other players are not involved and those bots are there in order to keep the livelihood, the engagement, and the entertainment going as far as the game goes? Do I really give a shit about that? No. Where I give a shit about is whether those bots, is how much those bots actually contribute to swaying the game one way or another. If the matches are balanced out with players and bots, like if I've got 40 people in a server, 20 on each team with a max total team of 60 players, and 40 of those players on each team are bots, then fine. Then those 20 players should be the only ones contributing to the wins or losses as far as the points go. If I kill a bunch of bots, it shouldn't count as spawn tickets. The spawn tickets are the player tickets. Period. There's where I draw the line. Games don't do that. That's where I get pissed.
Fair.
But to say that killing bots is boring, bitch, we do it all the time when we play single-player games. It's not like people in single-player games, there's a whole fucking office of people sitting there on a multiplayer connection playing against you and they just suck that horrible. Like, what the fuck? It's the same thing, people.
Yeah. But that's it's just an interesting conversation because I would just remember that Call of Duty has bots now, like, and there's a civil war happening. Granted, Activision,
so what?
the Activision's kind of like taking this like really weirdly, doing this weirdly. As long as there's a choice, like, you know, you have your from solos to quads just normally, and you can play anything, and the same with with Warzone casual, fine, whatever, who cares? It's fine. Let people enjoy what they want. But when you
maybe if I want to play in quads and there's like fucking so many people in and the rest of the server is fucking bots, then fine, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
playing
fine. As
quads
long as
with my boys, that's all that matters. That's
as
all
long
that
as the
should matter.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as long as the choice. But the problem is they kind of remove the choice. That's the problem. You know, don't remove the
problem,
choice.
Yeah.
Don't remove
that.
the choice. Yeah, don't remove the choice. That's the problem. So I hope the Battlefield's not gonna go there. Even though we're gonna have with the next Battlefield game, we're gonna have some playlist modes and everything. We're not gonna enjoy this week's playlist or whatever. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
As long as community server rental stays, I don't care.
Yeah, Portal apparently is a thing. We keep forgetting. Also, quick mention. People say like, yeah, Portal is coming. That's confirmed. But people like as soon as these like old maps got determined by Temporal, it's like, oh, so they're gonna be part of the Portal package and everything. No, chill. You have to understand. The point of Portal is the tools, not the maps. You don't want. I think they learned their lesson that they want to separate. They don't want to separate maps depending on the mode you're playing. Right.
The whole thing that we've been bitching about is the fact that we don't have enough settings to have in our sandbox game. The one thing that makes a sandbox game the most is the most that you can customize it. That's what makes it a sandbox game. And it's the sandbox part.
Yeah.
Sandbox. It's a box of sand. You can do what you want with it. The more you can do with it, the more fun it is. Can we all understand that? So that's why Portal exists. That's the point of Portal. Portal gives us this big sandbox.
It's not the maps. It's not the content, it's not whatever, it's the tools. It's always been the tools. Why do you think they added Battlefield 3 and 1942 and what's the Bad Company 2 maps into all-out war mode in Battlefield 2022, like into the regular game? Why? Well, we have the maps, why not fucking use them, right? So they learned their lesson. So we're not gonna have Portal's not gonna be like, oh, Portal's a separate thing. Look, Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1 maps in Portal. No, that's it. That's
have
not
content
happening.
fucking use.
Yeah. Content's gonna all the content will be mainstreamed to the main game, and Portal's gonna be there to make anything you want on those maps. That's how it's gonna work. So people need to forget what you learned from Battlefield 2042 because DICE learned their lessons. Anyway, but other than that, I have nothing else to say. It's just like, this game is a reboot. Next Battlefield game is a reboot. Signs are there, clearly, and I'm okay with that.
Let's just fucking see what happens, y'all.
Yeah. Other than that, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for listening to our ramblings, all that kind of stuff. As usual, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Website is almost done. Will be live soon. And of course I will announce it and everything, so it should be fun. And yeah, so our socials, check our socials, check everything, you know, tell us, join our Discord, you know, and that's it. Ray, have any closing thoughts?
No, I have no thoughts.
No thoughts.
Good night, everybody!
Just dead inside. That's alright. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys on the next one.